walking to the cars. Oh. I used to walk home from work, which was about like from here to the green space, and 108 degrees in the shade.
Like I said, they need to
I was cooked and then walking that ball.
Well fed today. Hopefully I can talk.
and well,
Time to be sleepy.
Yeah.
Turn that off before it goes all nowhere.
Good. Good. All right, it is 6 o'clock. It is Monday, January 19th. We'll call the meeting to order and start off with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, next we'll have a roll call, please.
Hayward,
Yes.
Rickerl,
Yes.
Lyon,
Yes.
Collister,
Yes.
Colwood,
Yes.
Alinger,
yes.
Bennett.
Yes.
All right, next, can I get an approval for tonight's agenda?
So moved.
Motion by Collister,
Second.
seconded by Alinger. If there's no discussion, take the roll.
Rickerl,
Yes.
Lyon,
Yes.
Collister,
Yes.
Colwood,
Yes.
Alinger,
Yes.
Bennett,
Yes.
Hayward.
Yes.
All right, next we have public participation. Is there anybody who wishes to address the council?
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, members of the council. I just want to take a brief moment to introduce myself. My name is Bjorn Beck, and I've been on the Maquoketa Fire Department for 17 years, serving the last 8 years as captain. In November, at our annual election meeting, I was elected to serve as fire chief for 2026. The first 2 weeks have definitely been a learning experience. I want to thank Manager Boldt, Jan, Missy, Teresa, and the City Hall staff for answering any questions I've had. I truly believe that we have one of the better fire departments in Eastern Iowa. That goes a lot of credit out to our members itself for their time and dedication, but also you folks and past council members for providing us the equipment and resources to make our jobs a lot easier. I also have to give credit to Chief Zymet in the police department, John in Public Works, and Jen at the water department. All my years I've been on the department, these individual departments have been great to work with. They've provided any services that we've needed, so we definitely appreciate that. Although I'm gonna miss being on the hose line on the front, going interior, I do look forward to this new challenge and role. And if anybody has any other questions, anytime, feel free to contact me. Thank you for your time.
Welcome aboard.
Okay, thank you. Yes, good luck. Is there anybody else who wishes to address the council?
There's one unanticipated visitor online, Paul. I don't know if they had something to say, but now would be the time to do it regarding participation. Not, move forward, I suppose.
Okay. All right, next we have presentations. Item A is the Mayor's City of the State address. Try to make this short and sweet. The state of our city is looking pretty good. Many of the projects that we've been working on over the years are well on their way to being finished or are already finished. All of the major work on Platt Street has been pretty well wrapped up. The treatment and water plant are nearing completion. The green space project is finished and it looks fantastic. Our downtown incentives program that helps business owners spruce up their facades and their storefronts has been very popular and very well received. Prairie Creek Park, which is a city-county project, is on its way to being finished and getting the finishing touches put on it. Here in city government, we are always trying to find ways to be more efficient with every dollar we spend. In the future, we have the possibility of some new businesses coming to Maquoketa, possibly out there by Husco. Many of our existing businesses are all trying to expand their footprints and their operations. There are plans for some new housing here in Maquoketa, and we are always on the hunt for a real and valid plan for the old Jackson County Regional Hospital over on Grove Street. The city and the school are working together with the expansion of Briggs and Little Bear Park, while the school is considering closing Cardinal School and bringing everyone over to elementary at Briggs School. There have been several changes in the employee positions here in the city. I want to applaud all the folks who are new on the city staff, and I want to wish the retirees well. Also, our city manager, Josh Boldt, has been working very hard on all the projects I just mentioned, and I want to thank him for his work. And I want to thank all you city council members for being forward-looking and looking to the days ahead. Thank you. Do we have no public hearings?
Mayor, we have a couple of presentations.
Oh, yes, okay, Cotier Realty? Cotier Realty? How's it pronounced? Coterie? Okay, Abby Gilmore, please come up. Gilroy? Yeah.
And, yeah, I'll just lead off. I promised Abby I would.
Okay.
So
Okay.
this is probably the meat of your agenda, and Abby and Mike and I were out to dinner at Obie's, and I was giving them a local flavor, and that's why I'm not in a suit tonight, and I'm proud to present that I didn't get any sauce on myself. So Abby contacted me with Mike a couple months ago, and the point of this is every year since I've been here, the city's always a participant in some developer conversation about the competitive tax credit program that the state of Iowa runs. So usually at some point in March or April, there'll be just a rapid fire phone calls of, hey, we need a council resolution in place for this housing project we want to put in Maquoketa, and we need a resolution within the next week for some sort of incentive of some sort, for some income limited project that we really know absolutely nothing about. So I explained to Abby, experience working together before getting to a point of urgency would be greatly appreciated, but also years ago, our city had an income proposal, not the pocket neighborhood, but a different one that was larger, and that maybe some information got a little bit out of control. So I wanted to put together Abby in front of the council here to introduce herself and tell you what she's done in the past and what she would be seeking to do with Maquoketa. And heading into this morning, I was hoping that she would provide some project references. I didn't even have to ask her. She emailed it. And I think a lot of things that what cities struggle to deal with is what is an income qualified person? And that last sheet of your handout shows us what those income limits are from HUD. And having reviewed them this morning, I'm pretty confident many landlords in Maquoketa would be very happy to rent at any version of an 80% or 60% household. And those numbers increase depending on the number of people in the house. So, the other thing Abby and Mike and I talked a lot about today is our zoning code. We talked a little bit about, in the past, our R1 code has single-family home and duplex designations. Then it jumps to multifamily. And trying to think about this problem, and I'm not suggesting an action to you now, but I do think it's something important to think about for the future for you all, is what I'm hearing from Abby and what I've heard from even local builders here is we're in a rural market. To get the materials here, they have to be transported. They have to be built here. There's a market here that needs to be sold. A lot of our projects that are going to come to us in any form in the future have to have density to them. But you need to think about density and balancing what does this look like from a livability perspective. And what I've been talking about more and more to people, and what I would suggest you think about, is what does a townhome look like in a more kind of R1 type of environment? What does a quadplex look like? And Abby's introducing a certain building type here too. But as we know from some of our more recent zoning proposals, an ability to present a plan is highly valuable to you all and the neighbors involved. So if we were to get someone who says, we want to propose R2, build this exact thing in this area, and then stick through that with this tax credit proposal that goes in. This is business other cities do successful work in, but what I would suggest to you is in this spring process, if we were requesting some cooperation with some R1 or R2, that we go into it with an open mind. Housing is something that has continued to elude the city. In my experience here, I think we've smashed it on many fronts. Housing has not been one of them. And that can change. And unfortunately, the environment's super competitive. So to start that process and get it out on the right foot right away, so that we're not fighting from behind with misinformation or whatever might be associated with a 60% income project or 80%. Wanted to have Abby come in, explain who she is and why she got into this work, and have an open-ended conversation with you all about what could be coming here in the spring. And I'll let Abby go from there.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Take you everywhere I go.
All right, good evening. I'm Abby Gilroy with Coterie Real Estate. I appreciate your time this evening and the invitation to come to town today from Manager Boldt. So he was gracious enough to take a few hours this afternoon to drive me around town and give me the history on some sites and where growth is happening, what the goals are for the city itself in regards to housing, which is what I like to really just start my process with, is getting to know the community, understanding your goals and what your vision is for the city, instead of me coming in and telling you what I think you need. So I think there's a fine balance in doing that together through a partnership in these projects. So saw a lot of great potential. I want to applaud all of you. You've invested a lot into this city, and I can see that. He spoke to a lot of grants that have been applied for. A lot of dollars are being invested into your city, and those are things that I like to see as a developer, because I can't come here and fix it with one project or two projects. We all have to be putting something into that game. So really appreciated seeing that. I've spent the last 13 years running a nonprofit in Des Moines that was a commercial real estate nonprofit that did revitalization in Des Moines neighborhoods through commercial real estate, and saw a need actually at a statewide level, quite frankly. There were a lot of rural communities around Des Moines that needed my help as well, but in that position I couldn't do that. So last January broke off out on my own and started working with other communities around the state on kind of the housing front. So I structure these projects with private investors. I get workforce housing tax credits through the state. I'll get redevelopment tax credits through the state, or at least try through applications, but it's very competitive. So you want to put together a very thoughtful project that kind of checks all those boxes. So what I'm looking for are infill sites that are maybe within a neighborhood, they're close to schools, they're close to work, they're close to the grocery store. I want people that live with us to feel part of the community, not just out in the middle of a 10-acre field, you know. So something that I would want to live in if I were moving to town. So what you see in your packet is exactly that. Some of the projects I've done or helped structure over the last several years, there's some little bit of talk about within Des Moines, there was about 65 million of previous experience of housing projects that I did within Des Moines market. Under Coterie Development, it's been about 35 million, where I've acquired, structured, sourced, and developed projects in rural markets. Other things that I do, I have a brokerage I do with the property management piece of it, because I do like to kind of control how the product is cared for into the future, who's living there and how they're taken care of, and other development type, type services. Project-wise, sorry, I'm just flipping the wrong way. So Perry was a 60 unit, that was more of a traditional 30 units, 3-story, common corridor type. They just needed a lot of density really quick. And so that was more high density type project, where Van Meter was true townhomes, where you're getting a 3-story townhome to each person with a tuck under garage, 3-bedroom type model. And then in Grinnell is where I started doing a like a single story type, no common space. Everybody has their own front door. Not quite a townhome, but what I'm calling a row home. It's all single story, like I said. And that kind of proved to be a really good model in that I was able to accommodate all walks of life. Anyone could live there. There were people that were moving out of their home that they've been in for 30 or 40 years into this, because it was very easy to access. It was accessible. You also have young professionals, and it really accommodated everybody. So we kind of started going into that and went over to Indianola with that model. That's under construction now. And then Huxley was just through this winter approved, and we'll start construction there in the spring. So what I'm looking for now are just sites that can accommodate this. You know, there's like 6 in a row, and then they're back to each other. So there's about 12 to 13 units per building. And I just am looking for little neighborhood nodes where we can kind of drop those in. They fit in well because they are single family or single story. They look, and the scale of them is like a single family home. So I'm not coming into these neighborhoods with a 3-story structure and just kind of disrupting what everyone's comfortable with. So that's kind of what I've done in the past. There's kind of some images and stuff. I don't know if you have what I'm looking at, but they're higher end as far as quality on the outside and the interior. So for me, my approach is that like I said, I'll be working with your staff and all of you on our steps forward. I also hold community meetings before we show up to P&Z or council with rezoning asks or plans, because I want to get that feedback and go back to the drawing board if we need to when it's not meeting the needs of the community. So I just wanted to introduce myself. This is a long process. If there's anything that pops up, the applications that we go for are in June and September, so we've got some time. So if there's a site that comes out of our tours today that might make sense, I will be back to present that to you. But in the meantime, I just wanted you to know I'm poking around and hope something can kind of come together here locally. So any questions for me or my process or?
I hope something can come along too. That
Yeah.
sounds very promising. Glad
Good.
you're here.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm
When,
excited.
when you said you go into neighborhoods, already established neighborhoods, do you try to gear the home look to the neighborhood?
Absolutely, yeah. Because if it was my backyard, that's what I'd want someone to do,
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
100%.
One of the questions that came up was, and maybe this will help out some qualitative data for you, this conversation was, you know, Abby asked me today, what scale of units would a single project hit do here? What's the maximum? And I said, 30 to 50. I think the one in 2022 or 2023 that was down by Quick Star South was 40 some. More senior living townhome type approach, but you know, did 40 some feel like too large of a hit at that time, or do you feel confident that some mix of that volume would be appropriate? I'm just kind of seeking some feedback. I'm not looking for cover, but certainly for Abby's research and her proposals moving forward, it might be nice to have some guidance on that.
Well, I think the outrage in that whole event was the developer, not the project he was probably bringing to town, but what was known about the developer in other communities.
Oh, I'm not talking about the WODA incident in 2022. There was a Quick Star South proposal that was senior housing focused. But we talked a little bit about the WODA incident today, and I don't want to rehash all of that with you all. But my question is more along the lines of how many units is too many units for a project in Maquoketa?
I think it just depends on where you want to put it. I mean, I'd like to keep it
Yeah.
open to as many as possible. You know, we want people coming here and enjoying our services, but it just all depends on where it's at. Like if it messes with the traffic, if it's the safety end of it. But you can't put a cap on the number. I mean, let's see what they have to offer and what we can do, and then see what if we got to whittle it down to say if it's in a busy part of town, maybe we can only do this many. But if it's in like a more residential, like away from town, the sky could be the limit.
Yeah.
I mean,
Are you looking to go just one specific area?
Not necessarily. After what I saw today, I think there's a few infill spots where it could add a lot of value,
Okay.
where it's underutilized, so to speak, currently, but shouldn't disrupt.
Right.
A neighbor, I'm not tearing down 3 homes to make this work. They're just kind of a few pockets throughout town that I'm hoping I can get a scale. If there's 2 or 3, I can get to a scale where financial, like the numbers still work, even though they're spaced. I'm not sure yet. I've talked to a builder about that, but I'm gonna tell him it's the same thing. Whether you're on one site or 3 different sites, make it work. So, but that's just my experience as an infill developer. I'm not a land developer, so I like those revitalization projects where you can kind of come in and add value where there isn't any right now. So, and that will help provide, property tax revenue where there isn't any, and everybody wins. So.
What is your average start time from starting to build to finishing it and people can move in?
That depends on the size of project, but I am doing, so like a 52 unit project's taking just about a year.
Oh, that's pretty quick.
But it takes
Fast.
about 3 years to get it fully developed and then built. Huxley will be a 24-month. By the time I found the piece of ground to when we'll open is about 2 years.
Okay. All right.
Just diligence and design and financing everything, tax credits. Like starting now is ideal because by June, if we can apply, the worst thing is to find a site in July and then you're waiting, a full year before you can even know your funding stack. So could be quick.
I guess I don't remember an issue 3 years ago where it was some sort of issue with the council.
There wasn't one.
That's what
I'm not portraying that. That was a 40-some unit proposal, and which is large for us. And I just am poking to see if that was too much or too little.
I don't care if it fits in the community, it fits in the community.
Yeah, I'll be thoughtful about that. I mean, I don't want to fight a fight either. So, yeah,
Anybody else?
That's exciting.
good. Yeah, I was very impressed today. So excited. All the trails and everything you have going is all the things we look for. So,
Okay, well, thank you.
yeah, thanks for your time.
welcome to Maquoketa.
Yep. Anybody else? Okay, we have no public hearing.
I'm guessing Aaron's not coming.
She was sick today. It should be noted. She called in sick for tonight's agenda.
Well, we have our consent agenda consisting of the minutes from the January 5th, 2026 regular council meeting, bills payable through July 19th, 2026 in the amount of $535,100.89, our December financials. We need to approve an ownership amendment of a retail alcohol license filed by Walmart Incorporated, reappointment of Carol Hamill to the Parks Board, reappointment of Amanda River to the Tree Board, and a reappointment of Gerald Bybee to the Airports Commission.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Collister, seconded by Coolman. We have no discussion, take the roll.
Lyon.
Yes.
Collister.
Yes.
Colvin.
Yes.
Alinger.
Yes.
Bennett.
Yes.
Hayward.
Yes.
Rickrell.
Yes.
Okay, item 9 is old business. We have no old business. Item 10 is new business. And A is a resolution approving the Maquoketa Fire Department officers and pays.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion by Collister, seconded by Coolman. Any discussion on this? Red, take the roll.
Collister.
Yes.
Colvin.
Yes.
Alinger.
Yes.
Bennett.
Yes.
Hayward.
Yes.
Rickrell.
Yes.
Lyon.
Yes.
Okay, that passes. Item B is a resolution authorizing the city clerk to make the appropriate interfund transfers, sums, and record the same at the appropriate manner for fiscal year 25-26 for the city of Maquoketa, Iowa.
Thank you, Mayor. I think Councilwoman Alinger challenged me to explain what this resolution is or what the science is behind it, and I cannot. This is a routine business that reconciles our budget, and we do it once or twice per year. What I can tell you is it pencils out to the budget that's being presented to the Finance Personnel Committee that you will eventually
Figured
adopt.
that.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Collister, seconded by Alinger. And if we have no discussion, take the roll.
Colvin.
Yes.
Alinger.
Yes.
Bennett.
Yes.
Hayward.
Yes.
Rickrell.
Yes.
Lyon.
Yes.
Collister.
Yes.
That passes. Item C is a resolution declaring surplus city property and authorizing it for resale. Go ahead.
Thank you, Mayor. On that previous item, I should note my accounting knowledge stops at due to, due from. But this resolution, occasionally we ask city staff to put together property that we wish to declare as surplus and that we're not using at all. Fire department is the lion's share of this, with the brush truck being asked for a surplus declaration as well as the old water department ambulance, an old teleprompter at the airport that's apparently worth a little bit of money, and the fire department garage sale list looks like Al Mulhausen's work of offloading a bunch of old equipment. So what happens from here is we auction it off from this point, and if it's a high value item, we seal bid it. So from this point, we'll leave it to the fire department to get these remarketed and available for resale if they need to. So it's what's being asked tonight, and Bjorn or Chief Beck, I pretty well assume that you agree you're not using these items.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Collister, seconded by Hayward. Any discussion? Then take the roll.
Alinger.
Yes.
Bennett.
Yes.
Hayward.
Yes.
Rickrell.
Yes.
Lyon.
Yes.
Collister.
Yes.
Colvin.
Yes.
Okay, that passes. Item D is a resolution allowing Cardinal CrossFit a 1-year reimbursement extension to Downtown Incentives Facade Grant Award.
Thanks, Mayor. This is the first of a few awards from the Downtown Incentives Committee that haven't been reimbursed yet, and there's a 1-year completion policy on the Downtown Incentives Committee awards. And so this isn't uncommon. DeKalb had this too when I was the manager there in that specific program, where occasionally you're granting people an extension. And simple city business, Downtown Incentives Committee, generally no grievance with giving the extension, but it's what's the holdup. So
Did we reach out to these people?
yes, it did. And Cardinal CrossFit said they're going to get their paperwork in immediately to me. So that's where they're at. The next two have given a percentage completion estimate on them. One's far smaller than the other, but both of them are contractor related. So I don't have a ton to add unless you want to add more from the DTI.
So moved. Second.
Motion by Collister, seconded by Lyon. Any discussion? Then take the roll.
Bennett.
Yes.
Hayward,
Yes.
Rickerl,
Yes.
Lyon,
Yes.
Collister,
Yes.
Colvin,
Yes.
Alinger.
Yes.
Okay, that passes. Item E is a resolution allowing Theodore Strait a one-year reimbursement extension to the downtown incentives, commercial interior and upper story renovation grant award.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Collister, seconded by Coolman. Any discussion? Take the roll.
Hayward,
Yes.
Rickerl,
Yes.
Lyon,
Yes.
Collister,
Yes.
Colvin,
Yes.
Alinger,
Yes.
Bennett,
Yes.
All right, that passes. Item F, a resolution allowing MDM Properties a one-year reimbursement extension to the downtown incentives grant, upper story housing facade award.
So moved.
Motion by Collister,
Second.
seconded by Bennett. Any discussion? Take the roll.
Rickerl,
Yes.
Lyon,
Yes.
Collister,
Yes.
Colvin,
Yes.
Alinger,
Yes.
Bennett,
Yes.
Hayward.
Yes.
Okay, that one passes. Item G is a resolution awarding a downtown incentives commercial interior grant in the amount of $15,000 to Rickerl Partners LLC at 110 South Olive Street.
Thank you, Mayor. And this one is the property formerly known as Przakli's and currently known as the Blacksmith. And if you've looked inside those windows, it's completely gutted. And the owner, Robert Abbott, is seeking a state funding source in which a little bit of city funding is required for match, and his private investment, as the application is designed right now, is $445,000. I think that this is a small ask given that, and I hope that this project is seen through to completion and we end up with a $25, $30 plates sort of place. So that's his vision. Just to go on a little bit more of a tangent, I don't know if you all have been to Molly's in Mount Carroll, Illinois. It's one of those brazen or really high-end types of restaurants in Mount Carroll. And if you haven't been there and you don't believe this can work, I encourage you to go eat there because it can. And people will drive to these. And Molly's has been open since 2014 successfully. And with the right chef, this will work. So that's kind of his mission at the moment. And I recommend your support to continue this.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, we got a motion by Coolman, seconded by Bennett. Any discussion here? We'll take the roll.
Lyon,
Yes.
Collister,
Yes.
Colvin,
Yes.
Alinger,
Yes.
Bennett,
Yes.
Hayward,
Yes.
Rickerl.
Yes.
Okay, that one passes. We move on to item H, a resolution setting a public hearing for February 2nd, 2026 at 6 p.m. regarding the review of plans, specs, and authorization to release for competitive bidding on a utility underground project. Go ahead.
Thank you, council, and this is your first resolution or signal at all of this year's bidding season. So a lot of our projects start with having a public hearing to consider, approve plans, and then release them for bidding, and we're moving forward with that on this underground utility project. We discussed the plans a little bit at the last council meeting, so should be in good shape after our next meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Lyons, seconded by
Hayward.
Hayward. Any discussion here? Take the roll.
Collister,
Yes.
Colvin,
Yes.
Alinger,
Yes.
Bennett,
Yes.
Hayward,
Yes.
Rickerl,
Yes.
Lyon.
Yes.
Okay, that one passes. Item I is a discussion and possible motion approving JCEA Visit Maquoketa startup payment in the amount of $15,000.
Thank you, Mayor. JCEA had a motion contribution of $15,000 towards this tourism campaign for Visit Maquoketa. It was payable to the City of Maquoketa. The city's subcontractor for that work is the Maquoketa Area Chamber of Commerce, which is what this payment is. So it's an income in, income out. In fact, it's net neutral for you all.
So moved.
Okay, motion by Lyon,
Second.
seconded by Alinger. Any discussion here? And take the roll.
Colvin,
Yes.
Alinger,
Yes.
Bennett,
Yes.
Hayward,
Yes.
Rickerl,
Yes.
Lyon,
Yes.
Collister.
Yes.
Okay, that passes. Item J, discussion and possible motion to approve final plat of the Bluffs at Prairie Creek 3rd Edition and the acceptance of the dedication of public utility easements as shown herein, the abandonment of the previously dedicated and accepted public utility easements located within lots 5 through 8 of the final plat of the Bluffs Prairie Creek at number 2 addition. Said lots having been replatted and now known as the final plat of the Bluffs at Prairie Creek, 3rd edition. Go ahead.
Thank you, Mayor. Good reading. So this is good news for that neighborhood. This is what the comp plan calls for, or one of the goals of it is to get housing in that area and other areas. But we have an investor, local, that wishes to put duplexes up in that area. It's good locations near the hospital. What sells is duplexes right now, and that's what the vision is. And this had to vacate some utility easements on the back of the property to make the replatting work. So that's why you're seeing this need being replatted. So this was considered at P&Z, recommended unanimously. Much of the neighborhood was here to speak on a separate item, knew very well what this project was. I didn't hear one grievance about this. So I think that this is all in pretty good shape to be approved tonight.
So moved.
Okay, got a motion by,
Second.
got a motion by Bennett, seconded by Coolman. If there's no discussion, take the roll.
Aliger,
Yes.
Bennett.
Yes.
Hayward.
Yes.
Rickerl,
Yes.
Lyon,
Yes.
Collister.
Yes.
Colvin.
Yes.
All right, that passes. We make it to reports and communications. Anything from anybody on the city council? Anything from the city manager?
Negative.
Okay, I accept the motion to adjourn.
So please move.
Motion by Lyons, seconded by Coolman. Go ahead, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? We're adjourned.